Welcome back, guys. This is just going to be a short little article that I did some research on and I thought about, and it is over at my blog over at fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. It is the top 5 teams that I think could land Mark Sanchez in 2014 next year. With the emergence of Geno Smith and the infamous butt fumble from Sanchez last season and his season-ending surgery, I do believe that Sanchez's numbered days in a Jets uniform will be the end of the season. Whether or not that is the playoffs, he will not be suited up. He just had surgery this week, and he will be out he had shoulder surgery. So the top 5 destinations, and call me crazy on a little of them, I kind of just threw stuff together on some of them, and there's going to be a couple that you'll probably agree with me on. And you might disagree, so if you do disagree, comment, subscribe, tell me about it, whatever you want to do. So let's jump right into it, guys. Number 5, Cleveland Browns. Brandon Weeden is back to starting, and he has been very mediocre this season, and not the same quarterback that they did draft 2 years ago out of OK State. You have to remember, too, Weeden did go back to school. He did get drafted by the Yankees in 2005, I believe. And then he decided to go back to school, and he graduated after playing at Oklahoma State and being drafted. Weeden is pushing 30 years old, and this is his second season in the league. So you got to take that into effect, too. And then along came Brian Hoyer, who looked like the savior for them. He was 2 for 2 in games and winning, and he was doing pretty good last week up until he had a knee injury, and it turned out that he had a torn ACL, which immediately probably broke the hearts of the Cleveland fans that were jumping on that bandwagon. I'm with 2 QBs on the list for them, saying for next year, saying that Hoyer can come back from a torn ACL, kind of like RG3 did and AP did. It's a very long shot, but you can never say never in situations like this. So the Browns do make the list at number 5. Number 4, the Philadelphia Eagles. Mike Vick, I know. Again, Mike Vick did what Mike Vick usually does. He'll run it. He'll do good. He'll end up getting a couple wins, and then he gets hurt. He ended up getting hurt last week. It is a hamstring injury, and it looks like he's doing pretty good with the hamstring injury right now. But along came Nick Foles. Nick Foles came into the game last week, and generally when Nick Foles comes into the game, mid-game, he just has an amazing game, connects with his receivers, moves the team down the field, does everything he needs to do, came out with a win. But when Nick Foles, and history will show, when Nick Foles starts a game, he's just awful. Here comes the fumbles, here comes the interceptions. So you got to be careful with that. Mike Vick isn't getting any younger. He is an aging veteran. And with Chip Kelly's no-huddle, high-octane game plan, I could see Sanchez coming in and helping out, although he is not the fastest scrambler such as Mike Vick is. Only time will tell, and why the Eagles are not higher up on this list is because they do have 2 QBs right now, so we'll see which way they want to go. Topping the list at number 3, Minnesota Vikings. Let's face it, Christian Ponder, he has a beautiful wife, but his playing skills are ugly. They did just sign Matt Castle's there this year, and he probably will start this week, I believe, since Christian Ponder is out. He has yet to prove himself, though. Although he didn't prove himself in KC, it is true that when Tom Brady went out with a knee injury a couple years ago in New England, Castle stepped up and did show good signs of being a starter, and I believe he led them to the playoffs. And that brought him a huge contract. It was an amazing contract for him, but he's just not lived up to that standard that his contract pays. And they did just agree with terms with Josh Freeman, who, I don't know, but it seems that Josh Freeman's ego may be bigger than Brett Favre's was when he would leave and come back, leave and come back. So, whether or not Freeman's going to be back next year, or this was just a little sign and they're going to have him this year on the roster, only time will tell on that one. But it is up in the air right now, since as of now, Minnesota does have 3 QBs on their roster. Number 2, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Josh Freeman just left there, and they're going with Mike Glennon as starter, and Glennon just is not a starter for the NFL in my eyes. Will he improve? He could possibly improve, but Tampa Bay went from having a decent 5-year veteran QB in Josh Freeman to someone who, honestly, how I put it, my grandma or your grandma wouldn't even trust. The Bucks are a very good landing spot for Sanchez, and we'll just have to wait and see how Mike Glennon goes through this year. And number one, I think you can guess it. Drum roll. Guessed it? Jacksonville Jaguars. Everyone should have seen this one coming, obviously. This is just a no-brainer for me. The Jags are possibly on their way going to an 0-16 season, and I don't think there's anyone that would be very shocked about that. And this week they're going up against the Denver Broncos with the biggest line in Vegas history. I think they have them at negative 28, and this will top it. Whether or not Denver brings out Peyton Manning to just run all over them and have career highs and everything, or they kind of slow it down, and better words to put it, I want to say don't be buttholes. But I do see Peyton Manning breaking records this weekend, and it is at the hands of the Jaguars. Blaine Gabbert, that's who they've got starting. And in my best Boston accent, Blaine Gabbert, all I can say is garbage. Chad Henne couldn't cut it in Miami. There's no way he's going to cut it here. I just don't see it. And honestly, the best move for the Jaguars, financially, it won't help their season, but financially, they should sign Tim Tebow. I said it. I know. I'm a Tebow lever, I guess. That might be how you say it. Whether or not he does good or not, he will bring in that revenue because he is homegrown and he is a home fan favorite from that area. If that doesn't happen, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen because it hasn't happened yet, I believe Mark Sanchez could go down there. And if they do sign him and he's all good after surgery next year and he leads the team to like 6 wins, he'll look like the savior. He'll look like he saved the day, and the front office will look like geniuses. So this is my top 5 for Mark Sanchez next year. We'll see how it plays out in the offseason. Other teams in consideration, the Panthers. I know you might be saying, what about Cam Newton? He's just not been playing very good this year, and I'm not sure if he's a very good fit there. He's a very good fit somewhere else, but I'm not sure if he is in Carolina. Tennessee, Jake Locker's out. You got Fitz. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out either. Tennessee could use the help. And the Arizona Cardinals, whether or not Carson Palmer will be his old self and be interception prone or not. So if you guys did like this, comment on it. Let me know if you did, what you guys think about it. Let's have a back and forth conversation, or inbox me. Subscribe to this channel as well. I have a sports blog that I've mentioned. It's fantasysportsadvice.sportsblog.com. Check that out if you want to. Comment on those and follow me on that. And just get the word out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is just a little bit that I was thinking.